These are some of the people who gathered at the Marriott Airport Hotel in Newark, New Jersey on October 5th, 2013 for the 30th annual AOBS reunion dinner.
I've been involved with it since I was, say, 20 years old, just from cutting stone in the quarry. I cut stone for 12 hours a day, 6-7 days a week, for close to 50 years. And when I got done at the end of the day, I went home and I went out in the dungeon and I lifted hammers.
I started back lifting many years ago. I actually took my first barbell to kindergarten, show and tell, when I was 5. So I've been at it over 50 years, half a century.
And I went into Olympic lifting full time. I took second in my first senior national championship.
I started when I was 5'4" and 112 pounds as a junior in high school. When I graduated as a senior, I was 5'10", weighed about 150, something like that.
I got involved in bodybuilding, I guess I'd say, in my early 20s. 1953, I competed in the Mr. North America contest. I didn't win, but it was a great experience for me.
And then I won in 75, 76, made the Olympic team, got a silver medal in the snatch.
It has seemed to help me health-wise, so it's been a lifelong endeavor and enjoyment.
And then 77, I set the American record several times in the snatch, first American over 400. And I believe at that time I was the 5th or 6th man to snatch over 400 pounds.
I've been bending metal and performing feats of strength for 30 years. I am 68 years old.
And I went on and won the World's Strongest Man later that year. I was just kind of lucky, but I did wax them all, there's no question. I didn't even have to do the last 2 events that I so far ahead.
My dad is known for his strength. He was the world's strongest man. I had my dad come when I was drafted in World War II. And my dad came to visit me one day, and they got winded that he was the world's strongest man, and asked if he could do a show, which he did. One thing led to another, and they asked if I could do any of that. I said, I've been doing some little things here and there. They asked me to put a show on if I can get an act together, which I did. From that time on, during my service in the Air Force, whatever camp or whatever town, they had me do a show in town where I'd pull cars with my hair or teeth to raise money for war bonds.
I don't think the people today really have a reverence from where strength came from. They think that people started bench pressing yesterday, or that they've come up with something new that the world's never been involved with. Strength has been here a long time, and the way that people went about it in the 20s and 30s and 40s are the basis of what's happening today.
Vic Boff, the co-founder of the Association of Old-Time Barbell and Strongmen, would usually end his conversations with friends with a simple phrase, "Carry on." These words signified his complete dedication to preserving the history and traditions of physical culture, even in a world where the amazing feats of the original strongmen, weightlifters, and bodybuilders may have fallen out of fashion.
It's amazing how just one man, Vic Boff, really has done all this, brought all these people together here every year for so many years. That's just one man doing that. But yet, almost every year, it's sold out. And I kept thinking, why is that? And I found no answer except, it's him. It was Vic Boff. In some way, he reaches all these people who never knew him personally. And I think that's amazing.
The first AOBS dinner was held on March 27, 1982, at Lenny's Clam Bar in Queens, New York, as a surprise 80th birthday party for legendary strongman Sig Klein. The event exploded in popularity, and by 1986 had moved to New York City's Downtown Athletic Club, home of the Heisman Trophy.
But I had such a great time because it was at the Downtown Athletic Club. And I mean, the place was just a dump. I mean, in fact, when I took my wife there and I told her we're gonna go to a really classy place, it's a great place, you really like it, $55 a night for the room. I took her into the room, she took one look at it, says, "You call this a hotel?"
In 2000, the AOBS reunion dinner was moved to New Jersey. And when Vic passed away in 2002, Artie Drexler stepped in to lead the organization.
Many others in the room were really living legends. It's not been easy for some of them to get here and gone out of their way to do it. So I thank them, I thank all of you for supporting the organization.
And if it wasn't for Arthur, we would not have this organization. Because you may have heard earlier the reference to I've seen him come and I've seen him go. The Oscar Heinerstein, I believe is the pronunciation in England, had this, and they only managed to last 11 years. And here we are celebrating our 30th.
Now, as most of you know by now, we're sharing with this evening a very wonderful kind of, or hitting a very wonderful kind of a milestone, 30 years. I think that Vic Boff and Johnny Mandel and Leo Murdoch would have been very proud indeed to be looking around the room tonight, to see the group that we have here, to see the idea that they came up with so many years ago, still going strong, still growing with new people, and still carrying on, as Vic would have said.
Several AOBS members have been attending the reunion dinner for most, if not all, of its 30-year history.
I've been the MC for the AOBS for approximately 22 years, and I've been a member since 1987.
I've been coming, I don't know if it's either 26 or 27 years.
I've been to every one since the beginning. I've never missed one.
I've been coming to this since around 1986.
Some people come in part to meet their heroes. Jim Sanders, for example, gives back to his childhood idols and the AOBS community by painting portraits that are presented to the reunion guests of honor every year.
Well, these were my heroes when I was growing up, and to meet them in person and present them something that shows my appreciation and the encouragement and adoration I had for them. So I've presented over 70 paintings over these 27 years or so.
And others see it, in part, as a chance to perform before their heroes.
If I'm out performing in the public, I can do things that are, really easy for me. I've done as many as 212 shows a year, so, I'm not pushing myself to the limit at all the shows. Here, though, I know that these guys have in their mind, oh, well, so-and-so did this and so-and-so did that. So when you're here, you want to make sure that they know that, you're really good at what you do.
But whatever other pleasures they may get from attending, everyone I spoke with explained that the one fundamental reason they return year after year is the people.
I enjoy the camaraderie.
The camaraderie, the ability to talk to people that otherwise you would never get a chance to meet.
It's just a whole group of really cool, nice guys that are all got the same thing in common.
It's just a fantastic group of people.
It's kind of like a fraternity. You feel like it's a real group of eclectic people. You got all types here. You got Olympic lifters, power lifters, strength athletes, people that are just interested in guys that are into grippers, and you make a lot of friends out of it. And it's really a great thing to come together with them.
So I used to judge a lot of the Mr. Americas over the years, and there was one Mr. America that was on the same day as the old timers. And I was to judge that also. And I said, well, I had to decline to judge the America because there wasn't anyone special coming here. It was that everyone who was here was special. And I didn't want to miss that. And I was glad that I made the right choice.
Indeed, the AOBS bond runs deep.
And what it means to me is a family of people getting together. People I've seen for years. Some of these people I've seen more regularly than my own family. I know what their granddaughters are doing, and I know what their cousins are doing, but it keeps people together.
One of the most interesting things we could say is that we have developed a whole family here. Everybody is tied into somebody somehow or another through admiration, through reading their stories, through seeing them in here. This is a family. I personally had some illnesses earlier this year, and I can't tell you how many of those people, excuse me, called my home, sent cards. Okay, they couldn't get me in a hospital, so they sent cards, they called my home, offering help, support to my wife.
And as with any family, losses and absences with time are sadly inevitable.
As I started coming here in '87, I always said, well, some would say, well, why do you come every year? I'd say, well, you never know who you're going to see. And also, if you miss them, you just may not see them again.
We have now entered the era, basically through attrition, where the older bodybuilders and lifters, they're not with us anymore, or they're not even interested.
Well, it's good to see all the guys get together because we don't all get together at different shows and whatnot. You see some here, some there. When you come here, just about everybody's here. I mean, everybody that's still around.
But these pioneers have a lot of experience that is well worth preserving.
As we get older, another 2 months I'll be 93, and I think back of all the things that I've done and gone through. I feel good about myself being able to do all these things.
The older guys that were the older strongmen bodybuilders and that, I love to hear their stories, pick their brains. These guys really have a lot of knowledge, and it proves in their strength that they still have. You know, when you meet a guy like Slim the Hammerman who's 79 years old, he can still crush your hand. I mean, you know, he knew what he was doing.
And Slim and the other old-timers are delighted to open the AOBS to anyone who is interested.
It's inclusive to all the guys, the new guys, and we always have new guys coming here every year. And it keeps it alive.
And then the good thing is there are also some of these people are bringing their children and even grandchildren to this thing. So it's a growing family thing.
I think the organization's doing good because we're having a lot of younger, it seems like every year there's younger guys and ladies interested in learning how to perform feats of strength. So it's cool that there's just not, I'm going to include myself in there now, us older guys and doing things, and that we have the younger ones to continue the organization, keep it going, pass the torch.
More than just being welcoming, the AOBS Strongmen look forward to teaching their skills to a new generation.
I like to help the younger guys, so I'm old for them, so I'll be 57 in November.
I have a couple of people I mentored when they're young. I've mentored one kid who was 19 when I met him.
I love to see them rise up and surpass all of us because that tells me that as a coach I'm doing a good job.
3, 2, 1.
And the new generation, in turn, is eager to learn and to be part of the AOBS world.
Well, I had heard stories of some of the old-timers doing things like opening horseshoes, and I had seen people roll up frying pans on TV. And I came to the AOBS dinner a couple years back and saw things that just blew my mind. I knew I wanted to get stronger, and I knew that I wanted to be the one performing on the stage. And I met Greg Matonic at the AOBS dinner. I happened to have been seated next to him, and he says to me, "Would you like to learn the feats of strength?" And I said, "I'd love to learn the feats of strength, but I don't really know where to begin. I need a coach." And he said, "I'll teach you."
Greg Matonic passed away in October 2012, but his legacy lives on.
This is going to be my first time performing on the AOBS stage, which is kind of like a dream come true.
This young man has an even more personal connection with the AOBS.
My name's Jonathan Komich. I've been coming since I was 9 years old. My dad brought me. It was back when the AOBS was held at the Downtown Athletic Club, and I've been coming every year since. And my dad just passed away in January, so these memories that were really great to begin with become even more special to me.
Jonathan recalled a particularly memorable morning following one of his first AOBS reunion dinners.
I was outside with the mighty Stefan, and I was talking about how I was really impressed with the feats of strength that were done, people bending steel and whatnot. And he actually brought out a spike and a bandana, and he said, "I bet you could do it." And he walked me through it, and I can't remember what he said, but whatever he said, he really got me focused, and I was able to bend the spike. And my dad has a picture of me bending the spike, and my face is beet red, so I know I was putting out a tremendous effort in order to do that. And I went out. As soon as I got home, the True Value got a bunch of spikes and haven't been able to do it since. So I got to thank the mighty Stefan for that and creating that memory for me.
And not only are new people like Bill coming into the world of old-time strongman feats.
I started actually 3 years ago. Dennis Rogers showed me the right way to start doing it. And 2 years ago, I got serious training with Greg Matonic.
But they, in turn, are raising the interest and awareness of their own children. Bill's daughter Samantha has also started down the road of steel bending.
I had a guy from my school to see, once I bent it, to see how, if he can open it up, and he was like, how did you do that? And he's the one who's like, he's got muscles, and so I felt special.
And in the end, that's a large part of what the AOBS is all about, providing inspiration to others.
Obviously, when you do feats of strength, it makes people feel good, it makes people happy, and it makes people be inspired that they can do greater things with their life.
And I use it to inspire people to achieve whatever goal that they want, because certain things seem impossible, like bending a steel bar seems impossible, but it's not impossible. It can be done as long as you're willing to work for it.
So what did I learn from attending the 30th annual reunion dinner of the Association of Old-Time Barbell and Strongmen? On the one hand, the material rewards of the Old-Time Strongman game may be relatively few.
I found out that in doing these feats of strength, there's a great deal of pain involved, there's a great deal of effort involved, and very little money.
But the lasting legacy of these strongmen, and of the AOBS, and of Vic Boff, is something far more important.
Not enough can be said about Vic Boff. And he left us with the very famous line of carry on. And that's exactly what's being done here. We are carrying on.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
The more he takes his bar around, the harder it gets.